Let's talk about the BBC now. Another day, another blunder. The British Blundering Corporation. Unbelievable. They've had to apologise to Catherine, Princess of Wales, for during their coverage of the memorial services to commemorate Armistice Day, which of course the royals all attend. They kept referring to her as Kate Middleton. Apparently she hates being called Kate anyway. I always call her Kate, but I don't call her Kate Middleton anymore. I mean, she hasn't been Kate Middleton for a long time, ever since she married Prince William. Really bizarre that they did this. They've now had to issue yet another apology. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's lawsuit, his $5 billion lawsuit against the BBC for twisting the truth about his Capitol Hill speech on January the 6th, 2021, continues apace. This is becoming now beyond a sick joke. Something needs to be done about our state broadcaster. Let's talk to the director at Popular Conservatism, Mark Littlewood. Mark, thanks for joining us. This gets worse and worse and worse, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, another day, another BBC disaster, really. I mean, we can distinguish, let me try and show some sort of spirit of generosity towards them, Kev, desperately difficult to do so. You could say this was a live broadcast, so, it's not as if they had time to reflect. It's more like a kind of loose-lipped presenter making a mistake live on air. That sort of stuff happens. That said, as you pointed out, this was, Memorial Day, something that you can prepare for, something around which you would expect to get all of your protocols right about exactly how to address who, exactly what to say, the precise right wording in each and every case, and they completely failed to do that. So, as I say, another day, another BBC disaster. And you know what? All of these disasters and mistakes and apologies, they're all on the same side of the ledger, isn't it? If they were just accident prone, you might think that sometimes they would make a mistake that was too pro-royal family or too pro-Israel or too pro-Donald Trump. Or to anti-LGBT. But no, all of the mistakes seem to be on the
one
same
side of the fence, aren't they? I mean, don't forget also, Mark, that, this wasn't just an offhand mistaken comment. They repeatedly called her Kate Middleton throughout this broadcast. Viewers complained that this was appalling and disrespectful. There are worse crimes, I suppose. But as I actually know for a fact that Catherine, even when she was Kate Middleton, hates being called Kate. It's just it's a thing of hers. So no wonder they got in trouble about this. But they got this wrong, very, very badly wrong. And it is one more reason to start thinking about how much longer are we supposed to pay the best part of 180 quid a year for our TV licenses for this constant blundering. And in terms of the Donald Trump lawsuit, the BBC's approach to it, I find breathtaking. It is ridiculous. They say, oh, it's not defaming. He has no case for defamation. And then they go, we've said sorry. What more does he want? Yeah. Or other broadcasting outlets, for example, Talk or ITV or Channel 4 or newspaper companies, be it The Sun, The Times, The Telegraph, The Mail. If you commit a libel against someone, then, yes, you have to say sorry, but you also have to pay a lot of money. That's the way it goes, financial compensation. Why do you think the BBC thinks that uniquely it should be spared this punishment?
Well, because, Kev, at the BBC, there's such a collective hive mind. They all believe they're virtuous. I think even after this Trump story, broke and Tim Davie and Deborah Turness, the head of news, had to resign, they didn't really do so with a kind of grovelling apology. They said how proud they were of the BBC, how brilliant its journalism was, and all of the rest of it. And, clearly it was egregious party political propaganda. I mean, I think even if the Democrat Party in America, Donald Trump's, opponents had spliced together footage like that, they would have faced legal action and would have been loath to do so. So, again, it speaks to an intrinsic bias, but also this rather lofty view that they are also virtuous and holier than thou and no better than the plebs. that if anything does go wrong, it must surely just have been a slip of the pen. And why wouldn't people just accept an apology? So they're in a huge hole here. And the legal fees that they're going to have to face in Florida if Trump really does pursue this, and I suspect he will, are going to be colossal. Win or lose.
Exactly right, and he will pursue it. I know Nigel Farage has revealed the depth, Nigel Farage of course being a friend of Trump, the depth of Donald's fury over this. And when the BBC said, oh, it's defamation, come on, it's not defamation, he wasn't damaged at all. Libel is about defaming someone. If I libel you, I defame you in the minds of right-thinking people. So I say something about you that isn't true that makes people feel worse about you. Now, imagine, can you think to commit insurrection and revolution against the government? There is no worse a libel. So their contention at the BBC that this isn't much, it is quite the reverse. It is about as bad a libel as you can imagine.
Yeah, Kev, you're absolutely right. And I think it's worth distinguishing two things here. One is defamation. Is it defamatory? And then the second is how much damage did it cause, right? And it's worth splitting those two. So you could make an appalling defamatory statement about somebody and you would be guilty of defamation, and a court would find you guilty of defamation. And then the court considers, well, how much damage did it cause? Now, you might think that this was a terrible, egregious, completely false defamatory statement by the BBC, which it was. And they might claim, but not very many people in America saw it, and not many of those would have changed their mind, and Donald Trump won the election anyway, so it didn't cause him much damage. But that goes to damages, not the principle of whether it was defamatory. And it would just be a sign that not many people watch the BBC or listen to it. If it didn't cause him a great deal of damage, it doesn't go to whether it was defamatory in itself. And if you've got our national broadcaster making what are clearly defamatory, inaccurate, politically biased statements against the leader of the free world, then, as you say, how much longer are we going to put up with paying a licence fee compulsory just to have that channel on air for 180 quid a year per household? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you know, this programme, what was it called, Trump Second Chance, was broadcast in October, just before the last presidential election, and the BBC's defence, or part of its pathetic defence. I don't know what kind of legal advice they're getting, but I think I could help them because they're going down the wrong road right now, I'll tell you that. But the part of their defence is, well, it wasn't screened in America. It's like, well, BBC, I'd like to introduce you to 2025. That is a really arcane defence. In fact, YouTube, every programme is screened all over the world, so that's not going to fly either.
But Kev, even more than that, there would be a good number of American expats in the United Kingdom who vote by post.
Exactly,
you know,
right.
many thousands, and they could have seen it. Many would have seen it.
Totally right, Mark.
Their vote.
They're in deep trouble on this. Mark, really good to speak to you. Mark Littlewood there, Director of Popular Conservatism.